Hello again, and welcome to this episode of Think, Learn, Do. So for this episode, I want to try and recreate a game that my kids used to play a while back. We'd go to the bowling alley and they'd always want to play the spider stomping game. And it was a pretty simple game, just had some big switches that would light up, and I think there was like some spiders underneath the buttons. They'd light up, you stomp on it, kind of like whack-a-mole, but you got to step on them instead of just hit them with a hammer. Kids loved the game. So I'm going to try and prototype that this time and recreate my own version of that game. But instead of having a single board, so yeah, this was like just a big mounted board. I'm going to actually recreate this using some simple buttons I'm going to create by myself. And then I'm going to run some wires back to my microcontroller, etc. Right. I think that this will be easier to prototype, plus we can kind of move these around later on if we want to change how this game looks. And it should be easier to store. So to prototype this idea, what I'm planning on using is these LEDs here. These are WS2812B RGB LEDs, so each one of these can light up with 3 colors, red, green, or blue. Make a whole bunch of different colors with them. They're really nice, cheap, fun to play with. The really nice thing about them is you can control a whole strand of these with one data pin and a ground and a power. So with one GPIO on your microcontroller, and then power and ground. It's really handy. So the plan is then that these will light up, and that'll show that the button needs to be stepped on. Then to detect let me show you these real fast. These are really bright. Yeah, really bright. So one way I'm going to help with that, I think I'm going to have about 4 LEDs on each switch. We'll see. To help with that, we're going to have what I guess is called a diffuser. And what this is going to do is make it so it's not quite so bright and kind of turn it into a lit up switch instead of a really blindingly bright light. So that's going to be the top part of the switch. And what these are is just some high density polyethylene, I'm guessing, cutting boards that I cut up into kind of the shape I want. So that's going to be the light and the diffuser on top. Then to detect the stomp, I'm just using a momentary switch. So you press on it, it'll just detect the change in voltage of the microcontroller will, and that'll know that somebody stepped on our switch. So the layout of this switch is going to be pretty basic. I have my top part, my diffuser, the plastic part. Then I have my switch underneath that, and then the diffuser is going to lay on top of that. Then for the kind of hold it onto the switch, I'm going to use some plastic pieces. They'll kind of act as springs and also just keep it centered over the switch. Then I'm just going to place it on a board for now, just to prototype it. That's going to be my switch, and then LEDs I'll just sneak in here somewhere on the side. We'll have some wires coming out from our switch and the wires for the string of LEDs. Run it back to our microcontroller. And this time I'm going to use my handy dandy Arduino. Eventually I want to use a wireless microcontroller, but this will, so I can do different game types and whatnot, but but for prototyping I'm just going to use the Arduino for now. And here's my beautiful bottom part with that on top. That's what it's going to basically look like. These are my plastic pieces I'm going to use for the sides of the switch. Crease it to give it some spring. Seems a bit wobbly side to side, so I think I have to take that into consideration on the next way. Try to make this a bit more sturdy. But I think that might work for me to try that out. Alright. So I've got my Arduino loaded up with some code, so it'll turn on the LEDs when it's ready to be stepped on. And then it will check that button to see if it's been pressed, and it should turn the lights off. So let's try it out. Ooh, that's looking beautiful. Oh yeah. I should come back on here in a minute. There it goes. Nice, I like it. Let's try this on the floor, try stepping on this, see if it can stand up to me stomping on it. Alright, here we go. So that was a fairly successful quick prototype. Definitely notes for next time. It's very wiggly, so I'm going to definitely have to make sure I have some connectors here at the top and the bottom. And stepping on it doesn't have much, it's like solid to step on. Like you can barely get it to move much before it's at the bottom. And it doesn't feel very sturdy as well. So next time, I'll definitely have to come up with a more tactile feedback kind of a feeling, so it feels like you step on it and it actually like goes down. That might help as well to make it feel more sturdy. Definitely feels like if I step on this too many times, it's just going to break right apart. The little button actuator on the bottom. So maybe like some foam underneath it, or underneath the button, so they could absorb the shock of being stepped on better. Also give you a bit more of a satisfying step on it. But that was fun. Looking forward to making this more polished. So the next time I do this, revisit this project, hopefully I'll have it a bunch of parts, a bunch of buttons laid out. And we can actually make a game, have people step on it and try and squash some bugs or squash my light buttons. So that'll be fun. Thanks for watching.